Okay, we're going to complete page 217 from your workbook. This is lesson 19, and we're going to work with exercise number 1. Number 1. Noah and Carter are collecting box tops for their school. Each bring 1 box top per day, starting on the first day of school. However, Carter had a start because his aunt gave him 15 box tops before school began. Noah's grandma saved 10 box tops, and Noah added those on his first day. Fill in the missing values that indicate the total number of box tops each boy brought to school. Now, before we even begin, let's just make sure that we all know what are the box tops. I know some people probably have done it in their school. Some people maybe have never. So the box tops usually can be found on this kind of products, Cheerios, candies, etc. And now we can even be using them with cell phones. Some schools collect those for money for their school. So that's only to help you understand what are the box tops. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to our information here. Let's highlight or even underline the information that is important. We are talking about Noah and Carter, and we know that each one of them is bringing a box top per day, starting on the first day of school. We also know that Carter started the school year with 15 box tops, and Noah started with 10 box tops the first day of school. And we're going to try to use colors so that we can distinguish which information is for who. So notice that on the table, you look at the table, they give us the school day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the number of box tops Noah has, and then the number of box tops that Carter has. So we're going to be organizing the information here. Now, on the first day, we know that Noah had 11. Now, keep in mind that Grandma gave him 10, and he's bringing 1 on the first day of school. So how did they get the 11? They had the 10 that Grandma gave him, plus the other one that he brought to school, so that made it 11. And that is going to be the same thing for Carter. Carter had 15 because his aunt gave him 15, and then plus the one that he brought on the first day of school, that gave it 16. And that is the information that you have here on the table. Now, if we continue on day 2, 3, 4, and 5, keep in mind each one of them is going to bring 1. So let's go ahead and complete the table. So 11 plus 1 is 12 box tops. 16 plus 1 is 17 box tops. And we're going to continue doing it all the way through day 5. So 12 plus 1 is 13, 17 plus 1 is 18, 13 plus 1 is 14, 18 plus 1 is 19, 14 plus 1 is 15, 19 plus 1 is 20. Or you could have just got going down 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Or use the method that makes more sense in your head. Let's go to the next one. Let's do B. If we let D be the number of days since the new school year began, on the day D of school, how many box tops will Noah have brought to school? So keep in mind, we're going to be using the variable to represent a number of days. This is like when you don't have the number. You only know that, like on the first day, he brings 1 box top, but we don't know exactly what day of the school day, right? So this is like if you want to find out how many box tops he's going to have maybe on the 100 day, or maybe in the 150 day of school. You don't have to complete a whole table, because completing a whole table can be very lengthy and a lot of work, and it might take you a long time. So using our expressions are going to help us to eliminate that kind of work. But we first have to do a few ones to see the pattern, to see how the pattern is consistent, and then from there we can make up our expression. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to let D represent the number of days on the new school year. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to do D on the number of days. Okay. And you can write, I wrote it right there on top of the table. We never use capital letters. I know that Eureka is using capital letters to help us and not get confused with the other work. Okay, let's go on the next one. On day D of school, how many box tops will Carter have? Now, we already noticed that we were adding 1 to each one, right? How did we get 11? Well, we started with 10, and then the 1 represented the number of days. So what you can say, okay, well, the 1 box top that they're bringing every day is consistent, and it doesn't change. The one that is changing is the number of days, which is your 1. Like, for example, let's complete the table here on the side. We're going to do a little bit of work next to it so that you can see what exactly happened. Okay, let's try it. So how did we get 11? We got day 1 plus 10, right? Then we got day 2 plus 10. We got day 3 plus 10. So hopefully, I know this is not part of your table, but it's really going to help you to see how we got the numbers for each one, for Carter and for Noah. Okay? And if you notice here in this pattern, you're going to see that the information that doesn't change is the number of box tops that they were given, right? Because that was a one-time given. And the number that keeps changing here is the number of days. If you think about the word variable means changing, that it's never the same. So when you have a number, you know that the value of a number doesn't change, right? So number 10 is number 10. Variable, if you think of the word variable, it changes. Variable means it changes. So this is what it means. It means the changes here. So in this case, that would be your variable. So how did we get the number of box tops for Noah? We can say that the number that changes is your D plus the 10 that never changes. So it's the same, right? So that would be the expression for Noah. Now that you see the pattern here, we're going to go to the next one over here, and we're going to do for Carter. How do we get 16? Well, on the first day, he was given the 15 box tops, right? Plus the first day, that will give you 16. On the second day, with 2 days, he would have the 2 days plus 15, that would give him 17. On the third day, he would have 3 plus 15 would have been 18. And if you notice, that is where the pattern starts happening, right? And it's more obvious to you. So hopefully by writing the information here, you can see again that the variable represents the days, right? So see, we already said we're going to use D for days. So that will be D plus the 15. And that will be the expression for Carter. So now we can just write the expression for Carter. How do we do it? We don't know the number of days. The expression for Carter would be D plus 15. And then the expression for Noah, it would be D plus 10. On day 10 of school, how many box tops will Carter have brought to school? Now, if you want to complete the table, start going day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like we said before, that might be a little bit of work. But what about if you organize yourself and use the expression? So we want to know Carter. We already know what is the expression for Carter. We're going to be just D plus 15. So let's rewrite the expression. Let's write D plus 15. And we already know that it's on the 10th day. So we're just going to substitute D with the 10th day. And then we're going to copy the rest of the expression. We call that substitution. So then 10 plus 15 gives you 25.